my name is Laura Matera. I am a teacher at Yavapai Elementary in Scottsdale, and I am going to be creating videos that go through some progression of number sense in students in kindergarten through 5th grade. Today, we're going to specifically look at number sense in kindergarten students moving into early 1st grade. So, just to go over it, number sense specifically relates to understanding numbers and number relationships, and also seeing patterns in numbers. So the big goal with number sense is we want our students to truly understand what a number means and not just memorize what a number is. So they should understand, for instance, 7 is also 6 plus 1, or 9 minus 2, or 3 plus 4. It's a type of fluency within numbers. Just like we want to be fluent in our language and be able to play with language, we want students to be able to do the same thing with numbers. So we start that as kids are very little. They should start by just one-to-one counting. They should be able to look at a group of objects and count how many objects are there. The next step is we want them to do something called subitizing. And subitizing means that the student can look at a group of objects and see what is there without having to count one by one. So one of the ways we can develop this is something called using dot patterns. And what I've done in the past with students is I would quickly show something like this for the students. But I don't give them enough time where they can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, I might hold it up for a moment and then put it back down. And then the students have to tell me how many did they see. And after they've given some answers, some will be correct, some will be incorrect, we'll then go through and we'll let them explain. And so again, the goal is to eventually see that they can group the objects. So at first they might say, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. But we'd like to hear that other students might say, well, I saw these 2 and I saw these 2. And I knew that was 4. A student might also say that they saw the first 3, they saw the 3 together, and then knew that one more made 4. Any way that they see it is absolutely okay. The goal is that they're seeing these numbers in different ways. And then as they get more comfortable, we want to make the problems a little harder. So this one would have a little bit more. And again, I would put it down pretty quickly, so that they are having to group the objects, not just count one by one. And so 6 is a little harder than 4. They can't count by ones as quickly. So they might say that they see groups of 2, and they counted by 2s, 2, 4, 6. They might see that there were 2 groups of 3, and they know that 3 plus 3 equals 6. They might even say they saw 3 all at once, and then they counted on from there, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any of those would be a valid way to see the number 6 in that problem. And then we get a little more difficult here. So again, they would only get to see it for about a second, and their goal is that they can figure out how many they saw. And so just like before, they would be looking at groups of objects. They might see, oh, I saw this 3 and 3 made 6, and then I counted on 7, 8, 9, 10. They might have seen the 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They might have counted by 2s, any way that works to get them to get to 10. So again, that's called subitizing, and those are different ways to see it. The goal is that they can do this up through 10. A big thing to note is that typically if you see a group of objects quickly, you can count, they should be able to count by ones up to 6, but after that they really do need to see it in groups to see the total number. So what I do with the students is I have dot patterns like this. This is within a sheet protector. And then that way I can show what they see, I can circle what they see and then quickly erase it. Another way to do this is you can actually just use a cookie sheet and some magnets. Any magnets you have around, you can put magnets on the board, and then what you would do is just maybe do it underneath and then put it up for them so that they can see what is on there. So you might do this and then hold it up and then put it down. And it doesn't need to be in any specific pattern. It can be all mixed up like this. In the real world, you can also be looking for things that they see around without counting one by one. For instance, you might go to the park and they could see ducks, and you can ask them, how many ducks do you see? How did you know how many ducks were there? They might say they see 7 ducks because they saw 3 by the lake and 2 on the playground and 2 under the tree. Got them to 7. They might have a plate of cookies for dessert, and they can try to figure out how many cookies without just counting one by one. Or even at a dinner table, you can go to a restaurant or even at home, how many people are at the table? How do you know? So again, the big goal to develop number sense is that they are finding ways to manipulate and work with numbers in lots of different ways. This is one of our kindergarten standards, and it's a great way to get students started with number sense, even if they're older than kindergarten. It's just a fun way for them to practice numbers and look at numbers lots of different ways. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.